passing information that I learned from my dad, his grandchildren. Permits me to use that word. Okay, that's it. So briefly, I'll be taking you through data visualization for 4 weeks. I think we'll be doing every weekend in the next 4 weeks, but this is going to be the first class. So today I'm going to be doing more of an introduction. So I'm not saying anyone should miss, but more of the job will catch up from the second class. But at least I'll use this to get your attention and to do a brief introduction to what data visualization is.
Please try sharing now. Let's see.
So, Shino, can I go ahead?
Yes, sir.
All right, Krista. Yes, I can go ahead. Thank you. All right. When you can see my screen, kindly let me know.
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, Krista. So, like I was saying, so I'll be taking you guys for 4 weeks. This is the first of the 4. I'm going to make it very engaging. I don't want it to be one-sided. And also, my main aim is to pass information. Also, having said this, I've learned that I have many gurus in this class because Engineer Shino told me you guys went through Excel with him and you guys users. So I want to believe that I'm dealing with super Excel users. So some things I don't want to waste your time on because he has given me an idea of what you guys covered in the Excel class. So I'll be leveraging on that knowledge. So without wasting much time, this is who I am. I'm Adede Jogunle, first degree mechanical engineer from Covenant University. I have a master's in petroleum engineering. I started my career as an auditor in Ernst & Young. Then I had the engineering experiences with Technip FMC. I worked with Nigerian Bureaus. Currently, I have a certification in data analytics, which is MCDA, Microsoft Certified Data Analyst. It used to be D100 before March 300, which is Microsoft Certified Power BI Analyst, I think. So I think I'm capable to be able to take you guys this evening. Also, ask here or worry about engineers, but I want to let you know that the world is evolving now. So as you don't need to be, there's no particular analyst or gives you an advantage. It's right now we tend to see that most people are moving into tech irrespective of their first discipline. So you're not learning anything. As long as you can read data, you can conceptualize data, you can create visuals, and you can derive insights from data, I think you're good to go. So any discipline can actually use data. As we go on, you'll see that there's no discipline that data analytics doesn't apply to. All right, so I just want to use this as an icebreaker. Know that numbers actually have stories to tell. Whatever number you're contributing to, whatever number you're jotting down, whatever number you're adding to, behind it, but these numbers can't tell their stories by themselves. They need you to speak for them. They need you to tell their story. So they rely on you to give them a clear and convincing. You go to a store today and you purchase an item, you're adding to data. You go online, you go to make a purchase, you're adding to data, is adding to data. Someone somewhere is collating this in a database. I will further use this to predict your behavior. Let me give you a random example. Uh, sometimes we do, not sometimes, we do market surveys to get feedback from customers, right? But also, we also study how, I give you, still on that example, but I'll butcher further. We just, the Muslims just completed their fast. So over time, we studied that during the fast, alcoholic beverages, yeah, because they are fasting. So what we tend to see that moves faster are Maltina, non-alcoholic beverages, basically. So that also gives us an information for at the back end to know that yeah, cut down your production of this amount of beverages that you send to the north. Rather, emphasize on this. That way, we don't have goods that are necessary, and then can help us to better plan production that will give us better productivity in the long run, increase our market share. So that's just to give you an insight that whatever numbers you're contributing to has an effect. So this is our module outline. For week one, I'll take you through the introduction to data visualization. I'll working on cleaning, transforming, and loading data in Power BI. In week three, we'll design a data model. And in the last week, we'll have some model calculations. All right, so this is what we're going to do today. There's a brief introduction to BI, then look at our BI interface together. So just in the hospital, in the retail outlets, shops, malls, manufacturers. I don't know if there's anyone here in oil and gas, but basically your reservoir engineering is built on data because as we know, these hydrocarbons are below at surface. So basically, you are relying on data to help you make predictions. That's why there's so many uncertainties. You are just relying on logs and the data you get from logs to actually make predictions to tell if I have operated everywhere and every day. Now, this set of data. Now, if I just want to create an analogy so you get how large 1,000 like a terabyte hard drive. 1 terabyte is like 1,024 gig. Yeah. Now imagine having 100 times 1,024 gig. But many more have more than 1 petabyte. Now what's 1 petabyte? 1 petabyte is 1,024 terabytes. Now convert that into gig. Now imagine feel a storage of 1 petabyte. But this is telling you that across all these sectors, all these industries, many of them have data that's stored 1 petabyte. It's showing you for discrete manufacturing now, you can see 966. Scroll down the list, you can see is construction with 51 petabyte of data. Now imagine all this data. And now imagine all they can do with this data. It's easy for you to predict a lot of things, and that's where AI comes in. What's AI basically? AI for you to predict different happenings, which is gathered from all the data. So like we've gathered different attributes, different people's behaviors based on data that we can now come to a conclusion, or this should be the resultant effect of this activity. So all this comes together by the ability or by the presence or provision of data. We're moving to application of data. So I'm showing you across these 5. There are more, but I just want this is just to give you an idea that data can be used in every sector. You need data. There are machines. Let me just give you a slight example. There are machines that I don't want to go too deep into engineering, but there are machines that their maintenance technique or have this particular machine now and I know it will run to failure. Over time, if I use it like 10 times, I know that okay, it will run usually it will run for at least some 3 months before I change. Okay, with this, it will run 3 months before it fails, and I will always be able to change it before it fails and before it so easy for many other things across your preventive maintenance as well. If you go to retail now, it helps you in market segmentation and market targeting. Based on the data, you know, okay, these particular people don't like this product to them. Hence, I don't start pushing the wrong product to the wrong market. Also in hospitality and travel, it helps you know at the time of the year people travel the most. Travel. There are peak periods when during the holidays when people will travel so much, and there are periods where you hardly even find a full seated plane for flights. So then you can plan your travel. Okay, within this particular time of the year, I need to push more airplanes. I need to have more flights. I need to have my flight schedule. I need to ensure that it's robust at that time. However, within this time of the year traveling, so that way I can plan around it. Down to financial services and healthcare. Please, at this point, I want to take a breather to ask, are you following? And what I need that quick feedback. So is anyone hearing me? Or can anyone hear me?
Yes, they usually use the chat box, so you can just put your eye on the chat box.
Shina. Right, Crystal. So I move on quickly. I'm on slideshow, so I actually won't see the chat box, but maybe time to time I'll check it. So what is data visualization? Data visualization is a graphic representation that expresses the significance. Numbers don't have voice. Data doesn't have voice. You are the one who creates the voice and gives it patterns that are not immediately visible in the. It is an art through which information, numbers, and measurements can be made more understandable. Now, I'm sure you guys must have plotted graphs and patterns. If I have a table, if I show you a table, maybe a table of profits, or a table of sales revenue by an organization, immediately you'll be seeing figures, yeah? You may not understand the trend. These are numbers, but it's easy for you to relate when you see a bar chart. Then you can see the progress, you can see the increase, or you can see the decrease as it were. Also, if you have a chart, a particular subject or a particular item to the total item, it's showing you a percentage. So then this is what best information as to what is happening in this data. The last point says data visualization acts as a link between the raw data and our engagement with it. If you take out from that slide is what does data visualization enable you to do? It gives users the ability to gain insights into data. Keyword insights. You can, but with the same data, I will tell you a story and you can get insights from it. With the same data, you can forecast what data. All right, just to break the ice again. The purpose of visualization is insights, not pictures. I know many, oh, I want my dashboard to be pretty. I want to have this color combination to be nice. I mean, it must look lovely. Fine, that's good. Yeah. I mean, it's when this is appealing that someone will want to usually will draw you closer first. But what is key is what information are you passing with this table? What information are you passing with this image? It's good to have aesthetics. It's good to have a beautiful slide. It's good to have a beautiful dashboard. But what's the message behind it? So as we are going forward, that's how I want you to think. Before you do any visualization, I want you to consider what's the intent of this? Like, what message do I intend to tell with this dashboard or with this visual? All right, let me move on with that. So there are many visualization tools we have. Power BI is one of them. Microsoft Excel that you've done too is one fantastic one, but many of us seem to belittle it, but if you know how much you can do with Excel, you know that it's. But for today, we'll be focusing on Power BI. I don't know how many people have it downloaded, so I provided a link for you. If you click this link, it will take you to and download either the 32-bit or the 64-bit. So I have already as an assignment before our next class, I will need everybody to have Power BI installed on their systems. Reach out to me. I will drop this link in the chat on our chats on WhatsApp. And if you have any issues, please be sure to reach out to me so that I can get you towards download. I need to have it so that you can follow through. I tell you, if you only listen, you easily forget. Listening without practicing will not really give you the desired effects that you want. Power BI is a collection of software services, apps, or connectors that work together to turn your unrelated sources of data into coherent, visually you have Microsoft Access there. You can get data from website, or you can get data from SQL servers, you can get data from Azure servers. So that's the beauty of Power BI. What it helps you do, you can pull out or scrape out data from all these data holdings. And after you get this data, with Power BI, you can transform them to dashboards, you can transform them to reports. So that's what Power BI helps you do. Parts or what they call elements of Power BI. One is the Power BI Desktop, which is the software that you will install on your system. The cloud-based software. Then the last is Power BI mobile app. Just like every regular app on your phone, it's a Power BI app. Now, what differentiates these three? Desktop is where you do this analysis. Yeah, the desktop is where you can scrape the data from, and if the desktop is robust, it gives you that flexibility, and then transform data to visuals. While on service is a bit limited. It allows you to do some altering to already stored or pulled data. Take for instance, I want to do a dashboard. It is for my desktop that I'm able to scrape the data to get the data. That data, I can do some modifications or I do transform them to visuals on my desktop app. However, this data now on the desktop app, I'll have to publish it. I can do like some engagement with the data such that I can do some filtering, I can do some changes, but my changes there are limited. Have on the desktop app. While on the Power BI app, the mobile app, all you can do there basically is to view and you're viewing dashboards. So normally the flow of work of Power BI usually is to create the report, then you publish it to your Power BI service. Then it can be read from your Power BI mobile app. So let me give you an analogy. For many of us, which are just operational staff or operational people. Now, what I mean by operational, I don't mean you have to be an engineering, but like you are more like the frontline person, like the frontline manager or the frontline representative. By frontline, what I mean is you're the one who will be doing the analysis. Yeah. Now I'm referring to people who probably be working in a regular 9 to 5 or being an office. So you're the manager who probably needs some. So you are working on your low level data, yeah? You're working on all the KPIs probably. So you're doing analysis on all your KPIs and your data. Some certain details from your reports. The manager doesn't need to see all the data. But all he needs to see is, okay, give me a higher level information. Take for instance, as an operational person, you're doing data entry, you're keying, okay, your sales for the day, you're keying everything, the details of the products you get in that day. You're keying everything, the daily report. But as a manager, I may not necessarily want to see your daily report. What I want to see is maybe at the end of the week, how well did we do? What did we sell? What products are moving? To see the day-to-day report, but I need to see a higher level report. Now that manager, oftentimes we have a manager who probably wants to see, oh, at the end of this month, how well did this product do? How well are we faring as a company? Then you get to see that at different stages, different people are interested in different things. So for me, the operational person, I'm the one who will be doing the work on my Power BI. My manager may not need the desktop app because all he needs to see is the dashboard I've created. So he might just simply need the Power BI service. And on the service, he's just checking, oh, this is how we are faring. This is what we've done in a week. And then he also has the boss who might not need the service. He might just have his mobile phone. And on the go, he's seeing this is how it has changed. This is the effect. So that way, different people get to engage with different elements of Power BI. So in our weekly classes, so we are going to be bringing data into Power BI desktop and we'll create a report. That's the first step we'll go through. After which we'll then also add in visualizations or build your dashboard. Then we'll share dashboards with others and also we'll see how we can interact with shared dashboards and make app. So it is important that I mention to you the building blocks of Power BI. Now there are 5 building blocks of Power BI. The first is visualization. To see them in a bit. Visualizations. Then we have data sets. Then we have reports. We have dashboards. We have tiles. Oftentimes, building blocks can be confusing, but I'll try my best to explain clearly. So before, let me just explain with the Power BI interface. Let me use this. So this is your Power BI interface, as you can see. I'm sure you guys are used to seeing things like this. You're used to seeing tabs with the home. I'm sure you must have seen home in Excel. Insert, you must have seen insert in Excel. Modeling, you would have seen model in Excel. Depending, model or developer, you might have seen the view and there's the help. So before I take you through this whole surface, I just want to explain the building blocks of Power BI. So first is visualization. If you look carefully right where my mouse is hovering over, sorry, you can see visualizations here. So in Power BI, we have all these visualizations. Good enough. I know you guys you must have seen 1, 2, 3, and some of 4. You might have seen the first 3 rows, or you'd have seen these maps and gauge. So please, I just need someone to confirm to me that you guys have seen them, and there won't be need for me to go through them again. You can just unmute and just tell me, yes, I've seen them. Hello? Hello?
Yes, we
It
are
would be
with
nice
you.
to hear for some. But so I just,
Yeah.
not all, but you've seen some, yeah?
Yes, the ones you pointed, we've seen them.
Okay, Crystal. So thank you for confirming. So you've seen these first 3 rows. So these are just with, or you get to work with. I will explain them in a bit, but these are visualizations. Now, what are visualizations? Visualizations are just images or pictures or symbols of this report here. This is a card visualization where you see total sales are saying 55.39 million. That's a card visualization. Total profit is a card visualization. But to the right, this is a slicer. I know you guys work with slicers on your Excel dashboard. So it works the same way. It helps you to filter details on your dashboard, categories that you've put on your slicer. This is an area chart visualization. This is a bar chart visualization. So these are visualizations. Then the next building block is data sets. So this is where you have your data sets in Power BI. Those tables or those sheets that you have basically are your data sets, because it's from that you're able to derive, you're able to come up with your visuals. It's on that data you're able to come up with your visualizations. So the next one is reports. So a visualization on its own can be called a visual or a visualization as it is. One or two or more visuals on your Power BI desktop app is a report. So having said that, what is staring at? Let me show you this. This is also a report. These are just reports as they stand because they are the combination of one or two Power BI desktop app. Then I move to a dashboard. Oftentimes there's usually this debate as to what a dashboard is and what a report is. Some people will tell you it's a dashboard, but a dashboard, according to Microsoft Power BI, is a combination of visuals that you've published to your. Why is that so? On your desktop, you are the only one who can relate with this report because at this point it's not published. It's just on your system. So at that point, it still remains a report. But when you put it on Power BI service, you publish it on Power BI service, then every other users that you share it with have opportunity dashboard at that time. Then it becomes a dashboard. So lastly, let me show you. I'll show you this same data, but I'll show you on. So this is it now. This is it on Power. It's the same thing, but it is a dashboard here because once I share it with other users, they can engage the same thing. They can use, they can play with or toggle with the slicer and get it filters all the data on it. So then that is a dashboard. Then the last is a tile. A tile is simply put, but just the way your reports, you have combination of visuals. On your dashboard is a combination of tiles. Is that clear enough? Okay, I'll just assume it is. All right, thank you. And I will move on. So, this class is it's good that this foundation is set before we start. So simply put, visuals are picture representation of your data, and they are the most important part of for bringing your data to life. They help you tell a better story, and they enable your users to simply and easily identify and understand patterns in your. Before to end this class, I just want to run you through. My plan was to run you through like many of the visuals, but the engineer had already twins, so you might not need to go through all of them. But even though, let me just run you through because I intended that from next class we'll have hands-on because then I SPI app. So this is like a grouping of the visuals you have in Power BI. Some of them are best suited for comparisons. Some are used to show data over time. Some help you with correlations. Some for distributions. Some show you contributions of some parts to the whole. Then some again. So comparison. Comparison was usually compare data between different categories. Take for let me use permit me to use this example from breweries now. I have different brands. I have different beer. I have Life. I have Star. I have Heineken. The revenue I get across three different brands. I will likely use the differences in their performance. If I'm perform if I have now staff or employees, easily maybe employees in a department, maybe I mean marketing department, and I want to compare what each marketer their contribution in terms of depending on their number. I can either do that in terms of percentage, which I may want to be using a donut or a pie chart, or if I'm dealing with the actual figures, I want to use a batch. So one of the major struggles of analysts in visualizations is selecting the right visualization to use. Now I'm sure you guys have if I have I'm comparing 20 or 30 or more items. You can as well testify with me that a pie chart wouldn't be your best bet because amongst the different 30 items, because they'll be too muddled together because it's a pie chart. But in that case, you're better off using a bar chart that can still give you clear picture. This I'm saying we'll practicalize it and we'll see the difference. So we'll make these mistakes and we'll then compare. At the end of this slide, I'll show you some dashboards too, and then you can see for yourself. Then date over time. Imagine comparing a a what should I use? What should I use? Okay, let me personalize it. LinkedIn over time. It's best to use a line chart because that way I can see the progression of my spending. Or if I have like a decrease in my spending, get some insights of a particular data over a period of time, it's best to use this ways of charts. So you can have this as a rule of thumb or a guide just to help you. So whenever you're dealing with some particular, whenever you feel you're dealing with this particular, these are the kind of visuals that will help and will guide you in your selection. Also in correlation now, help you. Like this column chart you can see in the middle. In Excel, I think it's called a combination chart, but it helps you to combine. Okay, I can combine two entities or two that I feel should give me an insight. For instance, if I have maybe number of workers as to their total productivity. If I have more staff, I should have more production. The lesser the staff, the lesser my volumes or the lesser production. So that way I can have this kind of charts that can help me to do that. So what Scatterplot does, it's kind of unique, but it helps you identify outliers. What do I mean by outliers? If you've done standard deviation or variance before that will skew your data to one particular side, those things are outliers. Let me give you an example. On a very funny or comical side, I know we watch Chinese movies, very big and huge Chinese people or Asians. Many of them are usually slim and a bit not so tall or medium heighted. So now if I have a data of Chinese big and fat, already he'll stand out as an outlier. So if I have those kind of data and I plot with scatter plot, it will help me easily identify and then I can now decide if I want to remove them and to see how material they are or how significant their contribution to my total data is. I don't like that I'm explaining this in English, but next week then we'll kickstart. We'll start all the juicy parts on the software that we all want to get to. Then also distribution. Distribution visuals help occur in your data sets. How many of these values do I have in this data? How many times does this appear? It helps you to show distribution or the use bubble chart as it were. Path to O, simply put, it's like I'm trying to check the contribution of a particular entity against the others. So it's in this category you have your donut chart, you have your pie chart, you have a tree map, and as well you can use a stacked bar chart. Ranking position of the element is more important than its relative value. Example. So for the decomposition tree, for instance, if I have many of these are interrelated, but if I have a total, maybe I have total, and I want to check, I want to narrow it down to a departmental's performance, I can use my decomposition tree because it will show me, it will narrow it down to the departmental's performance and down to even the particular staff's performance. So that way I can rank their performance across. So, positioning of visuals, how you should position your visuals on any dashboard. Because sometimes you can get things modeled up and it will not look clean. It won't look appealing, visually appealing. It's difficult for me to even get the insight from that. So what this is trying to show you, the first two red bars are referring to the top of your dashboard. Then the blue bars refer to the bottom of the dashboard. Some 2/3 squares to ensure that they are not filling your screen. I will show you what cards are. I'll show you what KPI and gauges. Then the middle, you can now have the major detail you want. The major like to your users is what you have in the middle. Then at the bottom too, if you still have some other granular metrics or KPIs or some tables that you want to use to buttress what you have in the middle. Sizing, I don't want to go through this since we'll do them practically next week. But this is just letting you know the small scale is showing you cards, KPIs, gauges, filters, and donuts. These are things on the large scale. These are visuals that you should better have at the middle point of your dashboard. These are standard Power BI visuals that I've just showed them in Excel. So now this is a dashboard. So sorry, profits, orders, customers, and quantity. Now these are card visuals. I can see how small they are. It makes it easy for you to understand of data is. And also at the top to your right hand side, you have a slicer which you can toggle with across the different years. Now in the midpoints, clearly, what is this showing on performance? That is what I want to send home. I want anybody looking at this to see clearly, oh, what is this telling me? It's showing me sales performance across different months, different regional performance across the regions and based on the product category. Then at the bottom, I can now have supporting data. I have a table, phones, the category is under technology, showing me the quantity that was sold and showing me the total sales. Already I've seen the sales performance of the whole department across item, per product category, and the number or the quantity of products that were sold. Also, I can have like a performance ratio that's showing me just a and the profits that was made. Now you can see how all these things I've explained come together to give you a very good and an appealing dashboard. I'll also show you this. This is showing a different approach. I still have my cards at the top. I have sales performance in the middle, which is the major data, major information I want to drive home. I still have supporting data, which is a table, which is my order log that's showing you just information to buttress what you can see in the sales performance. And the class today. This is where we're in the class today. I have an assignment. The link I'll drop the link on the group. So it's an assignment that I want everybody to do. I just want to see if you got anything at all from this class. Let me go to